an employee. PB Online is actually an employee assessment, a digital employee assessment tool. And then the one with the permit is basically a contract agreement drafter. And of course, Canva, which is all that has to do with images and building images, graphics, and videos and stuff like that. And basically the presentation is built by Canva as well and presented by Canva. Just following up with our introduction, I have a quick question basically. If your business doubled overnight, would it survive or would it collapse? Just something to think about. Okay. Most people that has a business, they dream about growth. So everybody wants to grow. Everybody thinks about more customers, more order, more revenue, more everything, all the good stuff. But the real question is, can your systems, the system that you have now, handle the growth? What do you think? Just think about it. Maybe it's something that you can add to the Q&A, and we can continue talking about this later on. Okay. Why does this matter? So why does CRM and ERP matter in this case? Most businesses begin, when they start with, spreadsheets, manual processes. It's mainly when you start small. It works in the big. One second, please. 1 second. I have an issue here. 1 second.
Jerome, sorry, Jerome, but I'm mute.
Yes. Okay. Back here. Sorry about this. It's basically, first of all, I don't know what exactly happened, but some program started in the background, and it started, I can see here, the program talking in my ear here, and it's not nice to have something like this happening right now. But anyway, let me just continue with our webinar. Just to repeat what I mentioned just before, my break is, most companies, when they start small. They begin with spreadsheets and manual processes. It works in the beginning as it is, the operation is small, but, by the time you start growing, it gets more difficult, just doing everything manually and, using spreadsheets and all those different things. As you grow, you will start noticing inefficiencies. This will start creeping up, stuff like missed opportunities. You will start duplicating works, poor customer service, especially if you start getting a lot of customers. Some stuff will get in the gap, and you might forget about certain things, or the old communication, everything. This is just a couple of them, but there is a whole list of inefficiencies that can creep up by the time you start growing. Why CRM basically matters in this case? A properly implemented CRM and ERP system can automate workflows, to get rid of the manual processes, especially the ones that repeat themselves, centralize data, and improve decision making, and helping businesses grow without stress. That's the main thing that you want to, to get to by the time you start growing. I don't think you will avoid stress, but the less you have, the better, I would say. Or I don't know if you guys agree with me. But here I have a video regarding what is CRM. I'm not going to play the video. At the end of the webinar in the coming days, most probably you guys will receive the presentation. In the presentation, you will get a video, and it's a video just explaining what CRM is, with all the connections, the reason that you need them, what will they do to your clients and all those different things. It's good stuff. It's about 6 minutes. Okay, so we're going to our next slide. Understanding CRM and ERP. Mainly at this point, first of all, CRM. What does CRM stand for? Most of the time you just see CRM, but CRM stands for the one that don't know, I guess most people know, but for the ones that don't know, it's the abbreviation for customer relationship management. In short, CRM focuses on managing customer relations and interactions, and it helps your sales, helps sales, marketing, and customer service team to stay aligned with each other. What I also did, at the end of the day, by the time you decide to, if you want to use a CRM, there is a lot of CRMs out there. And what I have done, I've compiled a top 10 of the CRMs available now for small and medium-sized businesses. This list is not in any case descending or ascending in the numbers, basically on the top 10. So I'm just going to mention a couple of them. Monday CRM, Zoho CRM, Salesforce is a big one, basically. HubSpot, Close CRM, Pipedrive, etc., etc. We have Microsoft Dynamics as well. Next year, I have another video, which we're not going to play either. So it's something for you to, in your free time, when you have more time, you can watch it and listen to all the things that I have to explain about ERP, what it is, what it does, and everything. Going to the next step is understanding ERP. Again, ERP is also an abbreviation. It stands for Enterprise Resource Planning. Actually, ERP started in the manufacturing industry. Not going to go deep into that, into the history or anything like that. I just want to explain what ERP is for. ERP is basically, let me call it a system that integrates all the core business processes like finance, HR, inventory, and supply chain. It ensures that all the departments work together in real time, and it saves and keeps all the accurate data together, so you can, work better and make better decisions, basically. Again, I have a top 10 there, which, the first one that will come up is SAP, Zoho One. I have to mainly, let me just mention Zoho One, because Zoho One, if you especially running a small business, Zoho One might be one of the good alternatives on this list, because it's practically very cheap to run it. So you pay per user, and if there's only 1 or 2 users you have, you just pay for those 2, and it's not very expensive. The rest, Microsoft Dynamics, Oracle, very expensive, but anyway, they're good. All of them will help you depending, where you are and your growing process. Next, there is an ERP and why you need it. Some very short explanations, only 1 minute. Again, I'm not going to play it. I will leave this to you when you have your time, and we're going to move to the next step. We mentioned CRM, we mentioned ERP. What's the difference between the two, and why do the two of them go very well together? The key differences between the two of them is CRM focuses on customers and increase revenue, while ERP focuses on optimizing business operation and reducing costs. If I have to say it in short, or in a very simple way, is CRM focuses on making sales, so it's basically bringing money in, and ERP focuses in saving costs, so it's basically lowering costs. That's basically the difference between the two of them, or the main difference. Again, another video, understanding the need of ERP and CRM integration. So what I just mentioned, this is going to give you another minute or two about, the integration between the two of them, the advantages, all the benefits that you will have with having those two running together in your company. Pain points. A lot of businesses struggle with certain things, which in this case we're calling them pain points. Disorganization, data silos. Examples are different teams using different tools, and this is basically something that creeped up after we started with with the whole digital transformation. So we're talking, if we go back like 20 years ago, a lot of people started buying, or a lot of companies started buying different systems. It was in a way disorganized in the sense that each department had the chance to buy their own stuff, and at the end of what we finish up today having is like every department having, or every department, every team having their own system, and the system they will communicate with each other. And that's an issue in our modern business doing, in the sense that it has its disadvantages, or it has a lot of disadvantages. Okay, another part of the disorganization, data silos, is, which I just mentioned, that leading to miscommunication and basically errors as well. Inefficient processes, manual data entries, redundant tasks, duplication, lack of automation. All these things slow down your processes, your daily process. Other pain points that we can mention: poor customer experience. This is mainly, if you don't have a CRM, lack of follow-ups, slow response time, and inconsistent leads to lost revenue. One thing that I can, well, no, I'm not going to mention that now, maybe later. We can, I will bring that up. Limited visibility and reporting without real-time insights. Especially today, that everything is moving very slow. Everybody wants their responses, their question asked, or their service as soon as possible. If you don't have real-time data, businesses will make decisions based on outdated and incomplete information, and that's not good for business. That's one of the main reasons you would like to have a system or a way to always have real-time data compiled, so you can have your business decision made with current data. The opportunities that you have by implementing CRM and ERP to drive growth are automation and efficiencies. So it's basically you can reduce manual work, and with reducing manual work, you can improve productivity as well. It's data-driven decision-making, like I just mentioned, real-time analytics for smarter business strategies and decisions, basically. Stronger customer relationship, personalized communication, better service, and improved retention. Scalability, system grow with you, allowing for seamless expansion. What do I mean with this last one? When you're doing your implementation, you don't have to do a big bang. You can do it in small little pieces, and then as you grow, you add what you need, because the system is ready to add more stuff to it. And in that sense, I'm talking about scalability, and you can grow slowly and allow expand slowly as well. A real life story to mention. I have two actually, but I'm just going to go through one of them, just for you guys to get an idea, for example. The other one, I will leave it to you for this. I'm just going to go to the one from CRM, but the ERP one, I will leave it to you, when you have the presentation, you can read it yourself, okay? This is basically Maya's restaurant. It's not a restaurant in 𝗪𝗪 because I couldn't find like a very good example. Well, I have implemented this before, but I decided to just look for one that has had a story that was readily available to add to our presentations today, right? So my restaurant is basically a restaurant based in the US. Before CRM implementation, Maya is actually a typical restaurant that had everything that to be successful, basically. Had amazing food, was cozy, had an inviting atmosphere. But despite the quality, sales were growing before they implemented CRM. The customers just came in, but they rarely became regulars, and building loyalty was a real challenge for them, especially with the high competition that you have in the US. It's not only the US. I mean, we can start thinking about Curaçao right now as well. I mean, there are so many restaurants, and you need to survive in all the different restaurants that you have, and to survive there, you need to have the tools and the way to get your customer and to keep your customer. That's very important, keeping them. In the case of this restaurant, for example, the biggest issue they had, customer data was all over the place. Some of them on paper, some on spreadsheet, making it nearly impossible to run targeted promotions. This is, especially the promotion, or follow up efficiently with guests and building the loyalty program. What happened is, after they implemented the implementation, they brought all the customer data together in one place in the CRM. By the time they had all those information together, they were able to track all customer preferences, what they like to eat, what they like to drink, and all those different, any type of information they could get from the customer, their order histories, and engagement. With this information, what they did is they launched loyalty programs and automated personalized email campaigns. With the result, the customer started, repeating their coming back to the restaurant. They had higher order values and increase in buzz around the whole restaurant. The CRM also helped them keep track of guests, allowing them to send timely offers and re-engage with them. So, sending promotion at certain times, especially very personalized offer, being like information that they were getting from the CRM system. What do they like, when, and what they like to eat, what they like to drink, all those different things. The results was clear, sales improved, and they had a stronger customer retention. This is the other one. This is one for ERP, which I'm not going to go through that because time is a bit limited here, but you can actually just go into it. Oh, I forgot to tell you this as well. So if you see the name here, there is it's a link. So for the My Restaurant and also for rent, you can click it and you can see the whole use case. Why they decided how things were going, why they decided what they did, and all those different things. So it's just for you to get a better idea, what's going on with those companies and how they solve the problems with CRM and ERP. So, actionable steps. How do you get started with CRM and with an ERP? Access your needs. So it's basically think about your needs. Identify your biggest inefficiencies, like sales tracking, inventory management, financial management, or is it customer service? Can be more than that, but it's something that you need to identify before you start. Define your CRM needs. Basically, if you're planning to acquire a CRM, you need to define your customer journey. Customer journey being, how do you get in contact with your customer? How do you create awareness? And how do you sell to them, and how do you keep them? So that's some kind of a journey, but then every business might have a different one. That's some very standard and basic one. Think about your key data points. So it's basically stuff that you need in order to make more sales, to follow-ups and all those different things, and your team needs. So basically, what do your team needs in order to work better with your clients? Choose the right tools, match the right CRM and ERP to your business size, industry, and budget. Very important, business size, industry, and budget. I will go to business size and budget as well, because depending on how much money you have, you need to, like we just said, start small, and then you grow. By the time you start growing, you can grow the system while you're growing. Okay, and the industries might be important as well, because some CRMs and some, especially ERPs, are built either for a certain type of account, or they can serve certain type of company better than the other one. So it's stuff that you need to think about and try to figure out all those information in order for you to look and get the correct system you need for your system, for your business. Other actionable steps: integrate and automate, connect system and automate repetitive tasks. So it's basically, if you don't have an ERM, there is other ways to do that as well. That's why I'm saying connect the system. You can have certain middlewares that you can use, like I mentioned one that was that I specialize in, which is Make.com. Make.com, you can use it to connect different systems with each other, and you can have one particular system where you can push all the data to one system, so you can create the same type of feeling of a CRM where everything, all data is stored in one place, and there you can create all your reports with your dashboards and everything for you to do your analysis and serve your customers better. Train your team. Ensure, especially when you start, it's very, very important for your team to be very well trained in one of the system that you selected. Very well trained. Not only that, it's good by the time you start thinking about it and start to get them involved, so they grow together in the whole change of going to a new system. So ensure employees are adopted and use the tools effectively. Measure and optimize. Track KPI and continuously improve your workflow. So by the time you build a workflow, it doesn't mean that is a static workflow, that it's something that's not going to change. You need to keep changing. So something might not be completely correct, and you know how to fix it on the way, and then you make it better and better and better and better. I'm not going to say it's going to get perfect, but you will always get better. You can be looking for perfection, but perfection is, I don't know. Okay. I think we just managed the whole presentation in half an hour. I don't know. I have like 3 basic questions, right? If any one of you has something to say on one of these questions, please raise your hand and they will open up your mic and we can probably discuss a little bit, or you can leave it in the chat as well, so we can, leave it in the Q&A or put it in the Q&A, and then the next step is going to be the question and answers. But let me just start with the first question that I would like to have a small discussion here. Remember, just raise your hand and your mic will be open so you can talk. What's the biggest inefficiency holding your business back right now? Anyone? No? Okay, next. Have you implemented a CRM or ERP? Or do you have one implemented, or are you planning to implement one? What has been your biggest challenge up to now, or your success if you already have one?
Jerome, there are a couple of points mentioned in the chat. I don't know if you're able to see it.
No, because basically when you have the presentation open,
okay. So maybe I can
you
mention
don't
the
see
first one. For point 1, biggest inefficiency, there was one comment from someone that mentioned client service. So maybe that's something, I don't know if you have any tips or thoughts on that one.
Client service is basically, I would like to get some more information regarding client services. What exactly from client services? And just for me to get a better idea of how I'm going to formulate my answer to that. So what exactly in customer service?
Yeah, so if the person that put it in the chat, if you can give some extra information, then Jerome will be able to provide you with an answer. Another question. So while that person writes it down in the chat, another question that came into the chat was, if you're thinking about implementing such a software or purchasing such a software, what kind of price point are you kind of thinking about? What's the range?
Okay. Then again, it depends on the system. You can have, okay, if we're talking about CRM, is it a question for CRM or ERP? Let me go for CRM for now. I mean, just for people to get an idea. Let's say for CRM, for example, depending what your needs are, because like I mentioned, you need to define your needs. I mean, you can start from $10 a month per user, and it can grow to a very big price depending on the system. But it can start by 10 per user per month. And some companies, I'm talking about cloud systems here because my preference are the cloud systems at this moment, because what I think about cloud systems are they're available anywhere. You can go anywhere, and you can have your system anywhere, not only on the desktop, you can have it on the phone, you can have it anywhere you go to. And not only that, nowadays, for example, the security that most of those systems will provide is not something that you can have or manage or administer on your own system, because you have like buildings. Some companies have buildings of people working in security, and they have like all the different certificates that they will take you a lot of time to get all those security certificates and to make your system secure if you have it installed in your own premises. So just to go back to the question, you can start small by 10. If you have 2 users, 20 a month, something like that. And if you want to have it even cheaper, you can even build something with, but I don't recommend that, using spreadsheet, but I won't recommend that. Any other question?
So coming back to the client services, just got a response on that one. So I'll read it out. We deliver specific services to clients, but there's a shift in clients that need more assistance and basic information, and that takes a toll on the services we deliver and the reaction time that clients who want the reaction time to be faster.
Interesting. This is basically specifically CRM again, but this has to do with your setup, your categorization, your segmentation, your setting up of type of clients, and not only that, if you have more than one people working for you, and again, if you're alone, that's a different thing. But let's say, for example, you have a team. By the time you start segmenting your customer pool, so what type of customer are they? Where are they coming from? What are the stuff that they're looking for, or they like, basically. Again, the scoring, meaning like how important are they? Are there customers that can wait more than a day for an answer? Are the ones that they want a great reaction? And then even the ones that want great reaction, you need to see what type of clients they are. But you need to create, by the time you're setting up your client base and the system, you need to start thinking about this, how the setup is going to be. Like I said, segmenting, categorizing, creating types, all of the different things. By the time you have this in place, you can assign, let's say, certain team members to the groups that you consider. I'm just going to say something here, VIP, or some high priority, medium, low, or something like that. So of course, the VIP group is going to be smaller. So that soon, if this person gets this information, they will react right away. Or besides that, if you say, you don't have so many different people, you can add automations that, when certain customers contact you, it will, you can use, for example, automation with a combination of AI that will contact the right person in your team that will follow up with them. There are different things that you can do there, but it mainly has to do with the setup. And again, I mean, you can continue improving the whole setup by the time you go forward. That answer your question?
Thanks, Jerome. Yes, that answers the question.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then there's another question. How effective is a CRM tool if no training is provided during implementation to the staff?
Well, it's very difficult. Just think about this. Let's say, for example, you make it sound very easy. You buy a car and you can't drive, and you just get in a car and try to drive. How will that go? Difficult, I guess, because you have never tried, probably such a car before. And the same thing with system, for example. If you don't know how the system works, meaning you know where certain features are, what communicates with what you need to do. Let's say, for example, just to make a simple case here. Let's say in your CRM, you have it's divided in certain pieces. You have leads, which are people that are not your customer yet, and then you have your customers, which are links to, or basically you have contacts, which are links to your accounts. Basically, you have account, which is a company, and the company might have different contact people. But then this is just a small part of it. Let's say, for example, in the leads area, it's where you start defining your customer journey. You need to understand, let's say, for example, if something happened, what needs to be changed in the system? Where will you find that information in the system? Why are you doing what you're doing? I mean, you need to know those answers in order to work with any type of system, especially just, if you need to go somewhere and you don't know where to go to. Of course, you can learn while you're going, but that will slow you down as well. And then that will actually goes against anything that you wanted to do before you got a CRM system. Because I would say if you got a CRM system, it's basically first of all, you want to grow, you're going to go faster, and you want to give service faster. And if you don't know the system, none of those things are possible. I hope that's answered your question. If not, just let me know.
Thanks, Jerome. That's it for the questions for now. Thanks for the answers, comments. So
Yeah.
that your answer provides sufficient context. Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, that was in the chat, right? Oh, my last question that I had, after what has been your biggest challenge or success? If you're not thinking about CRM or ERP, if you don't have one, what is keeping you from taking the next step to acquire one? Nothing? Okay.
So for now, there's someone that answers the transition. So the transition. That's something that's stopping them from taking action. So are there any easy steps or steps that can facilitate a smooth transition?
Okay, difficulty. I can see the question here in chat now. Okay, the transition. Transition is a big thing again. I mean, but the way to do this in transition is the way to do it today, basically with digital transformation. Let me call it digital transformation just to cover everything. Is you don't have to start big. You can start small, and while you're doing it in a small way. You understand, and you can work with that little piece of whatever transformation you did, and then basically slowly you can grow and grow and grow and make it bigger and, do more and more and more and more. So it's not really like, if you are thinking about going to a CRM, for example, you need to go to a CRM and then implement everything at once. It's not a good idea, especially if you have a big team. It can be a small team as well, but you can start slowly and then slowly grow into the whole into the whole big thing that you want to build, basically. And don't be afraid of pricing nowadays, because the prices from the last couple of years that have become very affordable compared to a couple of years ago. I mean, if we talk about ERP, like 10, 20 years ago, we're talking about thousands, hundreds of thousands of guilders or dollars basically a year just to run an ERP. Now, basically, there are so many different options that you can be running something with a couple of users for I would say less than $200-300 a year. Okay. Difficulty in choosing the right one for our business. Yeah, I can imagine there's a difficulty in that for a lot of people. But then again, we need to go back to one of the points that we had, how to get started. So it's basically, if you go through those steps, that's how you get an idea how to start. To make it simple for you to start, I mean, one good thing is like get a piece of paper or a Word document or anything like that, and write all the things that you would like to have or would like to do. Once you have that, you can either start, you can start selecting, going through some of those systems, and start sending this list. You can send this list probably to the customer service and ask them if they can answer those questions for you. It's like some kind of a request for answers, basically. And then if they come back, they will come back because basically they want to sell, so they will come very quickly back. And then you can see by their answer, the one that match with you most, those are the ones that basically are one of them that you can select to work with, basically. Then again, there is always a trial version, especially if we're talking about cloud systems. Most of them will come with a trial sometimes, so you can test it out. Some of them will be 14 days, some of them will be a whole month. I haven't seen any one of them going more than a month, but you never know. But you can start working with them for free, and just for you to get a feeling as well. So it's you don't have to be afraid to start using them. Start for free, and then if you think this one doesn't work for you, you can change and test another one, basically. But the best thing to do is just know what you exactly want. And by the time you know what you exactly want, you can choose the best CRM to cover all those things that you need. I hope I answered your question. I'm just going to read another one here. From manual to CRM can be time consuming during productive hours. I know, I've experienced that a lot with a lot of companies, especially because everybody's busy. And in order to get to the point where you have most of your stuff automated, because of the busyness of everybody, it's going to take a lot of time before we do it. Again, what I will recommend here is start small. Starting small again, look at all the stuff that you're doing manually. Just check the one that's causing you the most pain, and look at the one that you can automate easier. It's not something like, let's say, for example, that you will figure out, but you can do it together with a consultant, for example. You can write down, like, let's say, for example, all your repetitive stuff, and you can identify two things. The one process that will give you much more pain that you can automate, and the one that is the simpler one. You can prioritize them in that way. from 1 to 10, something like that. And then what you can do is, start automating either the small one, because it's time consuming, like you mentioned here, just start with the small one. And then slowly you start building up, going to the next one, to the next one, and to the next one. Again, you don't have to do everything together because it's not possible. Everybody's busy nowadays, and you always need a person to provide you with the correct steps in order to automate. And that is very important. Automation, you have to be sure that the process that you're building is the correct process, and make sure it doesn't create any inefficiencies or errors or anything like that. Because by the time you automate that process, and if you have an error in there that you're doing manually, automation will only make those errors more and more and more and faster. So think about that when you're building your process, but start small. Small process, automate the small one, which will not take a lot of time, and then slowly grow into the bigger ones. That's my recommendation, if that's answer your question regarding the manual. Let's see other time. Let me just check another one here. Any recommendation for consultancy industry? What do you mean exactly with any recommendation for the consultancy industry? So meaning CRM for the consultancy industry, or ERP for the consultancy industry? That's basically what you mean. Basically, for the consultancy industry, if I have to start thinking about something, is which I'm doing myself, I'm going through myself, is I have a CRM set up, and I have part of an ERP set up as well. So it's basically, I have information of all the clients set up, what type of clients they are, from what industry they're coming, what are their interests, all the information that you need, phone numbers, last time I spoke with them, all email information, WhatsApp information, everything is in one place. So it's basically, if I talk to, all the work that I did with them, everything I have in the CRM. So basically, 𝗪𝗑, if you call me, for example, I know exactly what I did for you, when I did it for you, what was the last thing that we spoke about, everything like that. And then basically the CRM, I have it connected to my financial system. So it's basically, by the time I start doing work, I have projects, the project work are done. It's basically just creates invoices automatically sent to clients, and there is a whole process for accounts receivable that will follow up with the client, basically with the clients. Just if they don't pay on time, they will get an email. Anyway, there's a whole process that is automated for all my financial stuff. So invoices are coming in using AI. For example, if somebody has an invoice, or if I go to the gas station, buy something, I just scan it or take a photo and send it to my email. It will read it up and put it in my expenses, stuff like that. So any recommendation? System, if you mean. If I have to say something, like I said, depending how big you are, the cheapest one that you can get at this moment is Zoho CRM, or Zoho One is basically a whole ERP. So you will have CRM, you will have books, which is financial, you will have like everything in there, so service and everything like that. Another one is talking about cheap here, is Monday.com. Monday.com is not really an ERP, but it has all the tools to be built into an ERP. So in order to make it an ERP, you can combine it with Make.com, and Make.com will make all the connections to all the other systems. If you do have a system, let's say, for example, for your accounting, let's say, for example, you have QuickBooks, Zoho Books, for example, or anything like that. I mean, you can connect Monday.com with them, and then all this information will sync in there. And then if you have a help desk and all those different things, they can sync too with each other. So you can create one single truth of all your data in that one place. The rest, I mean, there is a lot. Hello?
Yes.
Hello? Are you guys there? I just got kicked out.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. Now I don't have the questions are gone. But Leticia, what I just mentioned regarding your choices for consultancy for the consulting industry, does that give you an idea, or does it answer your question? Okay, there you go. You're using Zoho 1, which is good, basically. Or you don't find it user-friendly. Okay. Well, let me put it this way. I don't use Zoho. I've installed Zoho, but I don't use it myself. What I do use is Monday.com, which I do think is more friendlier than Zoho 1. And there's basically everything you can do, or most of the stuff that you can do for a consultancy company, you can do there. The only minus point for Monday.com is basically it doesn't have accounting system, which Zoho 1 has books, so everything is interconnected. So in that case, you need to either use only Zoho books if you want to keep it, and then you can connect it, which I've done for a client that this client had everything in Zoho 1, and this client as well, same thing that you're saying, you thought it was not that friendly. And we installed Monday CRM for them and connect Zoho books to Monday's CRM, so they could continue doing what they were doing. Okay. Any other question?
There was a question about opinion of client portals.
Sorry, repeat that, Tatiana?
What is your opinion about client portals? Oh, but there's also one, sorry, there's one that came in earlier. Someone that's selling food on demand, and that does delivery, and then there's two persons part-time that help. Which CRM and which ERP would be best for this person to use, and what would it cost?
This is a very small company. Because if we're talking about 2 people and stuff like that, again, my experience, especially if we're talking small here, you can either use Zoho, which is cheaper or you can use Monday. What I can hear here, for example, Zoho, for example, can be cheaper than Monday. The Monday CRM is a bit more expensive, but it's still cheap for a small company. They're cloud-based systems. So it's basically it's online. You can set up your customers, your team. Basically, it's you can set up in the system. You can provide them with a mobile app that they can have with them. You can automate, let's say, for example, by the time the orders come in, by the time it comes in, it can automatically notify somebody that, a certain order is in. It can automatically be assigned to a person if you set up rules, for example, just to speed up the process of notifying somebody. You can actually, let's say, for example, connect your WhatsApp account to the system. So you can either get an email. So it depends what you want. I mean, you can either connect it to your Outlook or to your Gmail, or you can connect it to WhatsApp. It depends on what works better for you. And then basically, if the order comes in, let's say, for example, they have to work on the order, and then by the time the order is done, it's a matter of just clicking a button, basically. And if you have, certain people assigned for a certain area, the system will recognize, let's say, for example, this is for Jan this person works at the area, so that person will get a notification, will come pick up the stuff and, bring it where it needs to be brought or something like that. I don't know if, I'm doing the correct interpretation of this business, but that's something that you can do.
Then another question was, what is your opinion about client portals? Jerome? Oh, you're on mute, Jerome.
Yeah, this is becoming a problem. Keep getting kicked out.
That's strange. I can see
Yeah,
internet connection is not very good. But we have one final question,
yeah.
and that's what's your opinion about client portals?
Client portal, meaning what about client portals?
Yannick, if you could expand on it in the chat, then maybe
That's
Jerome.
the question's very wide. So what exactly about client portal? Okay, in that sense. A client portal is good, but then again, the client portal is connected to a CRM. The same thing, you can have client portals, chatbots, and all those different things. You can connect them all to your CRM. Basically, what I will recommend there as well, if you connect to a client if you have a client portal, in between or together with the CRM, connected add AI to it as well, and provide the AI with a lot of information about your company, and then the rest of the information for the client, the AI can read it from the system. And then it will, in many cases, I mean, the person, asking those questions will really, at first, it will realize that he or she is talking to an AI. So because most of the questions are being answered in certain points, you can, program it to talk like you or like somebody you know. It just gets to a point where it gets very difficult, then it will assign it to somebody. And then again, that if you have it in the background automated, it will contact somebody from from your team in your company. But the client portal is good. It's a way to communicate with your clients as well. But you always need to leave it open to give them more choices. So client portal, they can call you, email you, depending what they like. Everybody has their own preferences. That's answer your question? Okay. That's it for questions. Okay, last question. Of course, go ahead. What do I use if the AI bots are not integrated with your CRM, you mean, or ERP? Okay. Let me put it this way. I will integrate. My choice is to integrate the AI bot to the CRM. Again, you can use some middlewares in order to, depending on the CRM, depending on the ERP, you can use middlewares to connect those two. There are a lot of middlewares out there, no coding tools basically. So you don't really need to know the code. You can. Connection is bad, right? Okay. So you don't really need to know coding, but at least need to know how the flow will is going just a little bit, and then you can connect your earbuds to your CRM and ERP. I will always recommend that, to give your bots better ways to answer back to any questions you get. What system you can use to do integration? Let me mention myself, I use Make.com. That's a non-coding system to integrate systems with each other. But then again, there are different ones. You have 𝗖𝗥𝗠, which is very popular with especially people that do not code at all. It's very simple. Just go step by step to let you add information to it. But besides that, you have Node8 as well. Repeat the first system, 𝗚𝗃𝗄, that I mentioned. Oh, the first is for integration. I use Make. It's called Make.com. So if you put Make.com in your browser, you will get to their site. So Make.com is basically to build integration, build automation flows, and you can build AI tools, AI agents basically to do certain people's job actually. So actually you can do a lot of different automation there with Make.com without coding. So everything is mainly modules and stuff like that. So that's Make.com, but then you have 𝗖𝗥𝗠 I mentioned. 𝗖𝗥𝗠 is a bit easier for somebody that doesn't have much understanding or experience with programming, because that will allow you to set up certain automations that they give you like each blocks of step that you can enter the information, and then it will do the work for you. You can tell it, these are the two systems I need to integrate. It will go to the next step, tell you, okay, what exactly do you want to integrate? Let's say, for example, you want to integrate a spreadsheet with something else. It tells you which sheet, which column, blah, 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 and all this different things. So it goes step by step. That's 𝗖𝗥𝗠. Just to mention two of them. Make is a bit more complicated, but you can do way more than 𝗖𝗥𝗠. That answer your question? Okay. Any more questions? before we close? Guess not. I guess I will close the presentation and finish up the webinar. Let me just say thank you to everyone that attended the webinar. Sorry for the timeouts and the time that it fell out, basically, but things that can happen. And if you guys have any questions, you can always contact me, and the presentation, basically at the end, you will have my contact information. You have any questions or stuff that you would like to do with CRM, ERP, or any integration, automation, stuff like that. You can always ask me questions or contact me and see what we can do together. Okay. Thank you very much. Have a good day. Enjoy your evening. Until next time. Bye.
Thanks a lot, Jerome. I really appreciate your presentation.
Eliane, ben online ainda?
Yes, Mitego, pode repetir?
Não, podemos check, mas check lá no online ainda.
Sim, Mitei. Claro?
Ok. Não, gewoon ik erop wel qua bij.
Oh, ok. No, mi non portavo feedback ora, che mi dico back.
Ok. Maar bon, dus maar riparati un paar online ainda. Goed die conectar ainda com bij.
Sì, precisamente. Steven en Melvin. Mi guarda non sali e non sto conversando.
Bom.
Che non sta saliendo, sì. Mi sa che non razzo. Yes, agora aqui temos os. Sim, não, mi não portavo feedback sobre mi afvolg mitar, dus mi tinku echt wakke, maneira mi sabem começamento mi também bezig com algum coisa, dus pensei lo mi não por ajudava com pergunta, etc. Dus lo mi tinku wakke back en tocava mi portavo feedback.
Ok. Única coisa só para preocupar me saco da batata na minha banda, ou me saco da duas vezes mais garfo. Ante conhecido que eu digo pelo, só me dá de maneira lisa, do você sabe uma cara foto posta limpa também tem lisa, nem pergunta que tu recorda da tu é a pera tu é parte não é.
Yes, Elisa te pergunta porque havia Q&A of como mesa preparado.
No, na final acabo mas sì, come ti un paio di punti di presentatie, però
Oh,
na
yeah.
final acaba tu rende tava comodo em chat. Dus tu não pergunta na hasi da via di chat mesmo. Então,
Okay,
já,
oh, okay.
Caetano também ajuda, tá? Faço um par de perguntas, né? Que estava cabeça para deixar, por ajuda aqui também.
Precies, ma tendele, sì. No, it's okay. Ja, pratica je foto ko sangu por so de dus. Of te pega for di ora ta online, to ko sangu por passa. Pero sì, permitimi qua curato, mi manager si avvolge completo. Mi ta conversar con eta, mi wa ko ilang yele, to mi ta mandavo algún feedback. Se não tem paciência comer, vai vir a jaluna si bom, se vou mirar por não receber
No,
nada de me per jaluna tarde, me tranquilo, acordar.
bom, não tem problema. A outra coisa, me tá mandar uma apresentação na meu ali. Me tá pedir a
Yes,
pena, então me tá mandando para bom, então eu vou por maneira distribuir para quem não é importante.
yes. Lo hasi ese,
No?
lo mi hasi tabe lo vai cair mais ou menos jaluna, ando di nos
Uhum,
vamos também, quello vai vira outro cima também, nós lo vai post e
uhum.
gravação, mas como sabe que lazzi, per nós lo post e gravação riva YouTube também. Digo
Ok,
nos channel.
ok. Bom, bom.
Bom,
All right.
danke, Jerome. Nós estamos em
Sì, dá anche
contato, qualquer coisa, contact me. Live?
mas é bom, não avisa, dá anche boa oportunidade.
No, danke, Nabo. Bom, nós estamos
Bom,
conversando. Sim,
bom, bom. Passa boa
bye
tarde,
bye.
eu.
Sim, igual.
Eu.